प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः.
Namaskar everybody. Nice to be back with you again. Hope you are all comfortable with the pace of the coverage. Poga poga, when we start the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita proper, it will be even slower. You will have enough time and scope for absorption. போன வாரம் பார்ட் 1 of the introductionல நம்ம பார்த்தது more to do with the background and the content takeaway from Bhagavad Gita. இந்த வாரம் I plan to cover the methodology that is planned for these sessions. இன்னைக்கு டெமோ செஷன்ஸும் இருக்கும் இதுல. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி the chapters in Bhagavad Gita 18 சாப்டர் இருக்குதுன்னு சொன்ன 18 சாப்டர்ஸ் அதுக்கு ஒரு brief introduction முதல்ல கொடுக்குறேன். Then we will go into coverage of the methodology for the sessions to come from now on. I'll take you briefly through the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, and more details of each of these we will see when we come to those individual chapters. Bhagavad Gita 18 chapters are usually divided into 3 divisions. The first 6 chapters, Lord Krishna takes Arjuna through the Karma Yoga part. Chapter 1 is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Every chapter has a suffix yoga. We will see the meaning of this in detail as we go by. So Arjuna Vishada Yoga is Arjuna's sorrow. So this chapter contains details of the battlefield scenario and also Arjuna's monologue laments about various issues. Lord Krishna does not utter a word in chapter 1. Chapter 2 is Sankhya Yoga, analytical knowledge. Lord Krishna starts speaking only from the 11th shloka of second chapter, and it goes on from then as question and answer between Arjuna and Krishna. So in this chapter, Krishna takes Arjuna through an analytical reasoning. Lord Krishna introduces the topic differentiation of the human body and the Atma. One is perishable, that's a body. Other one is Atma, imperishable. Then the third chapter, Karma Yoga. Lord Krishna introduces karma or action, the importance of action. He says no living being can be without an action even for a moment. So he urges Arjuna to get into the action. Chapter 4 is Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So Krishna brings in the Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is the Atma Jnanam, self knowledge, and he brings together how the Karma Yoga and the Jnana Yoga are closely related. And in chapter 5, which is Sannyasa Yoga, that is renunciation. So Krishna takes Arjuna through the path of renunciation. And then the last in this division is Dhyana Yoga, meditation. When one has got a control over the Karma Yoga and the Jnana Yoga, the next step is for meditation. The powers of meditation and the ways of meditation are talked about in this. The second division with an emphasis on bhakti or devotion. Chapter 7 is Jnana Vijnana Yoga, that's knowledge of the absolute, the superpower. 8 is Akshara Brahma Yoga, the imperishable Brahman or the Paramatma. And it briefly talks about what happens when a body perishes, what happens to the Atma. Chapter 9 is Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga, most confidential knowledge. Here is where the virtues of single-minded devotion, bhakti to that superpower is talked about. 10 is the Vibhuti Yoga or the glories of the Lord. So Lord Krishna briefly tells Arjuna the various glories of himself as the superpower. And then chapter 11 is Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, hearing Krishna extol the virtues of that superpower. Arjuna shows its interest in seeing Lord Krishna in his true form, the universal form. So, which Lord Krishna obliges. So, Arjuna sees the entire universe within that form, and then Arjuna gets scared and he requests Krishna to go back to the human form. And in the 12th chapter, it's Bhakti Yoga. So, this is about the ultimate devotion. The third division is the Jnanam oriented, Atma Jnanam, or the self knowledge. They say the path to liberation, a step before that is attaining the enlightenment or Jnanam. Chapter 13, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, known and the knower. The Kshetra is the body, human body. Kshetrajna is the Atma residing within the body. This chapter has got a profound wisdom again inside. When we come to the chapter, I will give you more details. Chapter 14 is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, that is the three gunas, the three characteristic behavioral traits are talked about: Sattva, Raja, and Tamogunas. So these three gunas, how in varying forms it exists between the people. This is what shapes the personality and behavior of the human beings. Chapter 15 is Purushottama Yoga, that is the supreme person. The Lord is superior to everything else, extols the virtues. Chapter 16 is Devasara Sampat Vibhaga Yoga, that's the divine and the demonic nature amongst the human beings. Chapter 17, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Earlier we talked about three gunas, the behavioral traits. This is three types of faith. How the faith we have also varies as per the gunas. And finally, chapter 18 is the Moksha Sannyas Yoga, freedom and renunciation. So, chapter 2 and chapter 18 are the windows to Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2 briefly talks about what all is going to follow, while chapter 18 sums up what all has been discussed. In between chapters, elaborate onto each of those taken topics. It's a beautiful treatise. There is so much of wisdom in simple words contained in Bhagavad Gita. I am sure you will enjoy it as we go by. Let me give you a brief about this program so that you have a clear understanding of the methodology and it will become easy for you to tune in with. This will be through the PowerPoint presentation as we have been through so far, and hence there is no language barrier. This will have Sanskrit, English, and Tamil. So if you are comfortable in English, you can go with the English translation, English transliteration. Otherwise, Tamil. நான் பேசும்போது நான் மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி பேசுவேன். What I say in Tamil, I will also translate in English and vice versa. And idea is you should not have a problem at all due to the language. And you can view it at your own convenient time and place. And it has been specifically built around to fit into an Android phone. So you can view it on the PC, a laptop, or a tablet, or an Android phone. And these will be posted on the YouTube, and link will be posted in the group, weekly sessions. And if you register with the Pariha, these programs, all the sessions will be available in sequence with the Pariha. And after this introduction session, from next session onwards, I'll be picking up select shlokas from every chapter, all the 18 chapters, and I plan to cover 4 shlokas per session. It will be weekly sessions, and each session will be for about 20 to 30 minutes duration. And you can expect approximately 35 sessions in total. So that's the way this program is organized. Sequence explained below will be the common thread for every session from now on. We'll begin every session with one shloka from the Dhyana shloka, which is a set of 9 shlokas. And one will be played in the beginning. You have heard it in the beginning of this introductory session also. This will be followed by guided chanting. I had mentioned 4 shlokas I will take up for every session. All those 4 shlokas for the session will be in a guided chanting form. I will show you a sample now after this, where the lead chanter will say 1/4 of the 2-line shloka. When the other follower chanter chants along with that, I would request you also to sing along with them. I will explain this when we come to that portion. So, prayer, which will be played in the beginning, guided chanting, which you will take part in, then the explanation of the shlokas. That's my part. Of all the 4 shlokas, word to word meaning with reference to context, the background, what its implications, life lessons as applicable, and comparable Tirukural or whatever else that is relevant, all that I would explain to you. Tamil and English ரெண்டுலயும் நான் explanation கொடுப்பேன். The shloka will appear in Sanskrit, transliterated in English and transliterated in Tamil in the same slide. I will show you a sample today. And invocation for peace or the Shanti mantra. Every session will end with this. Who does not want peace? So we should do the invocation for peace at the end of every session. So it starts with a prayer, it ends with the Shanti mantra. That's the way it will be. Let me now show you by example. Before we go into the demonstration of those sequential steps, it may make sense for us to understand what is the relevance of each of those 4 steps. The first one, prayer, then the chanting and explanation, and the Shanti Mantra, the invocation for the peace of mind. First, on the prayer, prayer has got a lot of advantages, not just this one shloka of the prayer. This is symbolic. I am sure all of you are used to various forms of prayer. Prayer has got tremendous amount of influence on our mind and the body. Few of these documented are: it helps in reducing the stress, it promotes the positive outlook, and it strengthens the will to live. All these are advantages of prayer: sincere prayer, regular prayer, and prayer knowing the meaning. The second one, chanting. Chanting, exercising the lungs and focusing the mind on that, and with a melody brought in. Advantages are, they say the heart rate, blood pressure, and the cholesterol levels drop. And it also lowers the depression and anxiety while boosting the immunity. Explanation, obviously, we understand the nuances of the Bhagavad Gita. That's our primary aim of the study. And then to gain self-knowledge, knowledge about the self. So I am going to try and make it easy for you to understand these. And the benefits of peace of mind, when we look for and get the peace of mind, agitated mind sees only the problems. Therefore, the mind is to be at calm. And the peace of mind is directly related to the power of reasoning. Mind works well. And that strength that is acquired, it helps us in finding solutions. So the 4 of them have got immense influence on each of us. It's for our own benefit that we are going to do. This is just a stimulant. So this prayer should make you think to look for regular habit of praying in a day-to-day life, chanting as much as possible. And this is one good chance for you. Every session, 4 shlokas you will get to chant on a guided chant mode, so that later when you read on your own, it becomes easier. Explanation, of course, I will take care of that. You have to be attentive. And the peace of mind, this is ending a thing with the peace. Peace for ourselves, peace for the people around us, for the society, and for the humanity at large. I will show you one sample sloka of guided chanting. Here you will see the lead chanter saying the first quarter in a melodious tune as the shloka is chanted. And then that quarter will be repeated by the second chanter. First quarter, then the second quarter, then the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter. Today you only observe, and from the next session onwards, when the lead chanter finishes one quarter, the second chanter starts chanting, you also try to chant along. That's a way to gain the practice. Okay? Now just watch, observe keenly.
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य
अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य
तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्
तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्.
Now a demo of how the shloka will appear and what will be the explanation like. Just watch. The shloka in Sanskrit will appear like this in this color. The same thing English transliterated will appear like this, and in Tamil like this. I will read it slowly for you. Whichever language you are comfortable with, try to follow with me. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. This is a shloka from 4th chapter, one of the very popular shlokas. இதுல வந்து மீனிங் என்னன்னா, யதா யதா அப்படின்னா எப்பெப்போ, whenever, தர்மஸ்ய கிளானிர் பவதி, தர்மத்துக்கு பெரில் வருது, வந்ததுன்னா, பாரதங்கிறது வந்து கிருஷ்ணா அட்ரஸஸ் அர்ஜுனா வித் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் நேம்ஸ். இன்ஃபேக்ட் எசன்ஸ் ஆஃப் கம்யூனிகேஷன் சொன்ன அது இதுல எல்லா ஸ்லோகத்திலையும் வரும். ஸோ எப்பெல்லாம் தர்மத்துக்கு ப்ராப்ளம் வருதோ, அண்ட் அதர்மஸ்ய அபியுத்தானம், whenever அதர்மா raises its head. ஸோ தர்மத்துக்கு ப்ராப்ளம் வருது, obviously parallelly அதர்மா raises its head. ததாத்மானம் ஸ்ருஜாமியகம், அந்த டைம்ல I will make myself appear in this world to bring it out of the clutches of adharma. That's what it means. It's a very, very reassuring shloka when we know that there is a superpower who is with us. We feel very comfortable, we can take on the challenges. When we know our parents are with us, behind us, as children, we ventured out into many of the adventures. So, like that. So, it says, whenever there is a problem, serious problem for dharma, and whenever adharma raises its head too much, I will appear on this world on my own and save the humanity. That's what it means. And the same thing given in the book in English and Tamil will be shown in the next slide. Explanation in English: whenever there is decay of dharma and rise of adharma, then I embody myself, O Bharata. Arjuna and Krishna addresses him in this shloka as Bharata. And விளக்கம் in Tamil, Bharata அர்ஜுனாவை கூப்பிடுறாரு. எப்போது எப்போது தர்மம் அழிந்து போய் அதர்மம் எழுச்சி பெறுமோ அப்போது நான் என்னை பிறப்பித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். இதுல வந்து நான் உங்களுக்கு சொல்லாத ஒரு சீக்ரெட் இப்ப சொல்ல போறேன். எவ்வளவு பேருக்கு தெரியுமோ தெரியாது, பாரதியார் was very proficient in Sanskrit also. In addition to his Tamil proficiency and the very high level of patriotism, he was very proficient in Sanskrit. பகவத் கீதால ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்லோகத்துக்கும் பாரதியார் தமிழ்ல ஈக்குவலண்டா எழுதியிருக்காரு. And I consider it my privilege, a great honor, to be able to use Bharatiyar's Tamil translation for our sessions, for each of the shlokas that we are going to take. So this is the way the shlokas will appear. Explanation I'll give, followed by the explanation in English and Tamil as taken from the various books. And Tamil, of course, Bharatiyar's words. And the publisher says some of the translations of Bharatiyar are as powerful as the original. That is the power of Bharatiyar. So that's the way all our future sessions will be organized. I can assure you that you will find it interesting and easy to absorb the essence of Bhagavad Gita in our forthcoming sessions. And I mentioned about the invocation for peace or the Shanti mantra, which will appear immediately after I say the final Namaskar every session. So please listen to that also before you go. Namaskar, everybody.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः